of Las Vegas, you think of neon lights, luxury hotels, and endless entertainment. But many visitors miss what lies just beyond the Las Vegas Strip. An impressive feat of engineering at the Hoover Dam, a stunningly beautiful state park, and much closer to the action, a new concert venue changing the way we see entertainment. A museum collection of the vintage signs that helped build the reputation Las Vegas is known for, and a mind-bending immersive art experience that flips reality on its head.
This is everything worth doing off the Vegas Strip.
If you're new here, we are Hannah and Jeremy, and this is the Savory Suitcase. In our last video, we shared our rapid-fire look at 4 totally different Vegas hotels during a whirlwind 4-day trip, staying at the Bellagio, the Luxor, the Flamingo, and the Venetian. The morning we checked out of the Bellagio, we picked up a rental car and headed off the Strip.
Take the next right onto Bellagio Drive, then continue straight.
Our first stop was technically not off the Strip yet, but it's one of the most iconic sites in Vegas, so we couldn't pass up the chance for a photo with the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. Designed in 1959 by Betty Willis, the sign was meant to capture the glitz and glamour of the city. It's become such a popular tourist spot that the city eventually built a parking lot right in the median of Las Vegas Boulevard, just so that people could safely pull over for a picture.
We also used this opportunity to drop by a drugstore and pick up some waters that weren't like $17 like at the resort, and then one more stop at a viral donut shop, St. Honoré, claiming to be the makers of the world's first couture donut. They are best known for their creme brulee donuts with a crunchy top.
That crunch.
They were actually pretty good, so living up to the viral hype. We then headed to one of the most famous sites near Las Vegas, the Hoover Dam. It's about a 45-minute drive from the Strip, and it's not just a popular day trip, it's a true icon of American history. Built during the Great Depression, it holds back the Colorado River and created Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States. Once making it through the very heavy security to enter the dam area, more about that later, we made a stop at the best vantage point to see the full perspective and scale of the dam, the viewpoint at the Pat Tillman Memorial Bridge. From the top of the bridge, you take a look over the Colorado River that marks the border between Arizona and Nevada.
From this angle, you really get a sense of just how massive the Hoover Dam is. Standing over 700 feet tall, it was the tallest dam in the world when it was completed in 1936. The concrete base is nearly 660 feet thick, roughly the length of 2 football fields, about the amount of concrete that you would need to build a highway from San Francisco to New York City. We then headed to our pickup spot for our rafting tour with Hoover Dam Rafting Adventures.
In the 1930s, what they did was they had Mack trucks that they converted into double-decker buses. They could transport up to 150 guys at a time down this road. And of course, back then the road wasn't paved, wasn't as wide as it is now. Wanted to keep it in a safe area away from the workers. And 2, they went into these mountains semi-underground. Again, dynamite exposed to the extreme heat would make that dynamite very unstable as it would sweat, nitroglisten. So it's about 60 degrees inside there, so it kept the dynamite nice and cool and safe. That bridge is one of the highest concrete arched bridges in the Western Hemisphere. It's over 900 feet high and 1,900 feet long. Put up railings for those guys coming down there in these Mack trucks, where they're still here today. Here they are, right here to your left, these little wooden ones.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop them. I did see videos though on this hairpin turn right here. They were basically hanging over the edge with that truck because there was no water.
We booked this tour with Hoover Dam Rafting Adventures, and we picked their postcard tour. It's an hour-and-a-half guided tour down the Colorado River, beginning at the base of the Hoover Dam. The tour is $70 per person, and they include a bag of snacks, unlimited cold water, and in the warmer months, they do have ice-cold washcloths to help keep you cool, because there is no shade on the river. This tour company is the only one authorized to sail this close to the dam, giving you one of the most unique perspectives of the Hoover Dam that you can get.
From the water, you get a close look at the massive intake towers and the enormous tunnels cut into the canyon walls. The square ones are diversion tunnels that were blasted through the rock in the 1930s to reroute the river during construction. They are wide enough to fit a train. The lower tunnels serve as giant spillways, safety valves that can release water downstream if Lake Mead ever rises too high.
From this vantage point, the dam towers 726 feet above you, and you really get a sense of its sheer scale and just how much engineering went into the construction. As we floated downstream, we passed the remnants of the old catwalk and gauging stations, and even spotted canyon walls still scarred from the dynamite blasts that helped carve this river channel. Along the way, we even spotted some desert bighorn sheep. These incredible climbers can scale cliffs that look impossible, and in the desert, they rely on the Colorado River and hidden springs for water, often coming down very steep slopes for a drink.
After the tour ended, the van took us back to the casino where we parked, and we picked up a quick lunch and headed back to the dam. The security at the dam is about as tight as the security at the White House, requiring vehicle inspections. After 9/11, the dam was deemed a potential target for a terrorist attack, so they implemented these safety checkpoints. Also, be prepared to pass through a TSA-style security to enter the buildings.
The dam offers a couple of different tours, but the only one available during our visit was the power plant tour, which is $25 per person. But you can visit the museum and visitor center for just $15, which is honestly very well curated.
The dam doesn't provide water and power only to Nevada, but also to Arizona and California, making it a lifeline for the entire Southwest.
When we checked in, we received a time ticket for our tour, so after exploring the museum, when the time came, we joined our group and headed down the dam's original elevator to the power plant, 530 feet below.
After the dam was built, so the dam was built from 1930 to 1935, the power plant was built from 1935 to 1937. The whole reason the power plant was put in is because of tourism and also because we don't receive tax funding. So they built the power plant as a way for us to make enough money to maintain the facility without the use of taxpayer money or any kind of appropriation from Congress. So I'm bringing this up because a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what we do here at Hoover Dam. They think power is the sole reason that we're here. It's actually zero reason for the reason we're here. Power has nothing to do with Hoover Dam at all. The only reason it's there, like I said, is just so we can make enough money to keep it going. Our job here is to control the release of water from the Colorado River. So we're providing drinking water to 40 million customers. So that's what we're doing. We're providing farming communities their agricultural water. We're providing navigation down the Colorado River, and we're preventing flooding. So before Hoover Dam was here, what would happen is the snowpack would melt every spring, and it would completely wash out the Imperial Valley in Southern California. And there was no way for those towns to build up and make any kind of a farming community. So that's the reason they put Hoover Dam here in the first place. That's the shape of that red drum. That red drum is called a stator, and And the rotor looks kind of like a giant truck tire turned on its side. There's about 40 electromagnets around the outer edge. It sits down inside that stator alongside 5 miles of continuous copper wire that makes up the coil. Power, or enough electricity for about 65,000 homes per generator.
From the viewing platform, you can see the line of 17 generators, 9 on the Nevada side and 8 on the Arizona side. Each generator weighs about 560 tons, roughly the same as a fully loaded Boeing 747. Together, they crank out enough electricity to power over 1 million homes across Nevada, Arizona, and California.
The tour was kind of short. I believe you usually also get to see the inspection tunnels at the center of the dam, but there was some construction going on that prevented us from being able to take that part of the tour. After the tour, we took the chance to see the dam from the top perspective, which also gives you a good view of the bridge and the power lines supplying the power from the plant. They are slanted to keep the wires from rubbing up against the canyon walls. On the backside of the dam, you'll see Lake Mead, or at least a small part of it. What really stands out is the prominent white bathtub ring along the canyon walls. This lighter band of rock marks just how high the water used to be compared to today. At its fullest, Lake Mead is the largest reservoir in the United States, but ongoing droughts and water use have lowered the levels dramatically over the past 2 decades.
And as if to remind us that we are still in the desert, temps topped 100 degrees, so we decided it was time to head to our next stop and enjoy the AC in the car for a while. About 60 miles north along Scenic Highway 167, we were at the Valley of Fire State Park, which is known for its fiery red sandstone formations that seem to glow at sunrise and sunset, with trails that wind through slot canyons and arches. But, heads up, many of the hiking trails close during the peak warmer months because the temperatures here can soar well over 110 degrees. So in the summertime, it's more of a drive-through and scenic stop kind of adventure, but that's our speed.
Having recently visited Bryce Canyon, Zion, and the Grand Canyon, we almost skipped this because we kind of figured how many more rocks can one person see, but I'm really glad that we didn't. The formations here were very unique, and as a complete contrast to Zion, we practically had the place to ourselves, and that was definitely a nice relief from the past few days we'd spent on the Vegas Strip. The park is also home to some of the Southwest's most impressive petroglyphs, carved into the rock by ancestral Puebloans who lived in this region more than 1,000 years ago. These images depict animals, human figures, and abstract symbols, offering a glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and stories of the people who called the desert home long before Las Vegas existed. I particularly like the bighorn sheeps.
After exploring the fiery rocks and ancient petroglyphs at the Valley of Fire State Park, we hit the road back towards Las Vegas as the sun started to set. Next up, the Neon Museum, where we would get up close to the colorful signs that helped make Vegas famous. Museum admission is $25, and due to the popularity, it's probably a good idea to book online in advance.
During the summer, because of the heat, they don't open until after dark. But honestly, this feels like the best time to visit, in order to see the signs like they were originally intended, fully lit up. The museum has a huge collection, with many still in storage, and they have been working one by one to fully restore all of the signs to their original glory. Each one has a history and a story, from the hotels and casinos that they advertised to the iconic fonts and colors that helped define the city's look for decades. Neon signs and lights became a defining feature of Las Vegas, because they were impossible to miss in the desert night, back in the 1930s and 40s as casinos and hotels competed for attention along the newly developed strip. Glowing signs offered a way to stand out and lure visitors from miles away. Their bright colors and bold designs weren't just flashy, they promised excitement, luxury, and maybe a little bit of mischief. Over time, neon became part of the city's personality, creating the iconic nighttime spectacle that people from around the world now associate with Las Vegas.
After the museum, we stopped by Fremont Street, which was honestly completely overstimulating. Fremont Street is actually the historic heart of old Las Vegas. Before the Strip even existed, this was the city's main thoroughfare, lined with casinos, hotels, and neon signs. Some of the original casinos are still standing today, like the Golden Nugget, Binion's, and El Cortez, offering a glimpse into the city's early days. Today, the street is popular for the Fremont Street Experience, a massive LED canopy that puts on nightly light shows over the crowds below and a zip line that takes you above the crowd. And then, before returning our rental car, we made another stop at the fabulous Las Vegas sign to get a few photos at night, and then we drove up and down the strip, just kind of taking it all in.
The next day, we took another field trip off the strip, using an Uber this time, and heading towards Area 15.
Remember, Area 15 has many dining options to satisfy the human appetite.
A collection of immersive experiences, with one of the main draws being Omega Mart. So Omega Mart is kind of hard to explain. Imagine stepping into a grocery store, but you forgot that you took some hallucinogens, and it slowly turns into a surreal, immersive dream that you can't wake up from. One minute you're browsing what seems like a normal grocery store, but upon closer inspection, you notice all of these bizarre products, like honey clumps and fruited loopholes.
And the butcher case is very unsettling.
And maybe what I need is one of these 96-hour energies?
But then you slip through a drink cooler into another dimension, and all of a sudden you're in a Doctor Who episode trying to solve a mysterious puzzle hidden in plain sight.
There's quite a few different storylines that you can follow, but we were too busy wandering from room to room, being overstimulated, but like kind of in a fun way, and pressing buttons and pulling on handles for us to follow any kind of storyline. But I'm sure there are plenty other videos on YouTube that go deeper into that.
After being thoroughly confused, we headed to our next mind-bending experience, a concert at the Sphere. Although the Sphere is technically off Las Vegas Boulevard, so not officially on the Strip, it's close enough to be easily accessible from many of the resorts, and specifically the Venetian, if you saw our last video. The Sphere is unlike any venue you've ever seen. This massive spherical structure is covered by over 580,000 LED panels and took over 5 years to construct. Inside, it's just as impressive, featuring a 160,000 square foot wraparound LED screen and a state-of-the-art sound system with 164,000 speakers designed to make every seat feel like you're in the front row.
So far, they have hosted a couple of different world-class bands for residencies, and most recently, the Backstreet Boys, which just so happened to be the whole reason we made our trip to Vegas.
Impossible as it may seem, but I wish I could control that, baby. 'Cause it's too late, but I won't get that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heart to say, 'cause I want it that way. Am I the only one? Yeah. Am I everything I need? Better rock your body now. Everybody now. Yeah. Rock your body now. Yeah.
On our way back to our hotel, after the concert, we stopped by the High Roller for one last bird's eye view of the Strip. The ride takes about 30 minutes and takes you up 550 feet, putting you around the same height as the Eiffel Tower replica at the Paris Las Vegas. With an incredible view back to the Sphere. At night, the Strip comes alive below you with all those neon lights, glowing fountains, and the glittering strips stretching out in every direction. It was the perfect way to end our time in this dazzling city. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked what you saw, please leave us a like to help support the channel and subscribe for our next adventure.